am making a quick video today. Basically, what we're going to be doing today, if you're out there, if you're an individual who is looking to learn how to ride a motorcycle, you're not sure if you can do it. Anybody can ride a motorcycle. You just have to practice. Don't be intimidated. Don't be nervous. It's not as hard as you think. I think, in my opinion, I think the hardest thing to do when you're first learning how to ride a motorcycle is taking off in first gear. I think a lot of people worry about stalling the bike. Some people might even be embarrassed because they're going to stall the bike. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, trust me. It happens to everybody, whether you're a new rider or you're a veteran. There's always some kind of situation where you might stall the bike for some reason. But you can avoid all of that by practicing mastering your clutch. So today I'm going to show you that. This is good for beginners, and the thing that I found out a couple weeks ago is my nephew, one of my nephews, is interested in getting his own motorcycle. I don't think he's ever been on one. I don't think he's ever been on a motorcycle as a passenger. So this video, Joe, if you're watching it, this video's for you, man. Basically, I'm going to show you how to take off on your motorcycle. Once you master that, going as fast as I'm going now is really easy. First gear is probably the hardest for anybody who's never driven a stick shift car or ridden a motorcycle. Forgive me if you hear a lot of wind. It is a very, very windy day today. And you're probably going to hear a lot of that. Hopefully not too much. I'm going to head to a forest preserve parking lot. Usually those aren't pretty, they're not that busy this time of day. So we're going to head there, show you guys how to take off in first gear and how to bring your bike to a stop without even having to have your hand on the throttle. So stay tuned for that. Here we go. We'll do it right here. So, you want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Let me pause this music. You want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. How difficult is it? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not difficult at all. First of all, let's take a look at my beautiful 2023 Harley Davidson Fat Boy 114 cubic inch engine. This is a beauty. It's a beauty. I've had it for an entire season now, and I've got to know her really well, and she's a beautiful bike. Performs excellent. When I first started looking into the Fat Boy, I would hear people say that they were hard to maneuver, but I feel like I've gotten used to it now. I know pretty much the lean angle. It's not too great of a lean angle, but yeah, I love her, man. She's awesome. She's an awesome bike. But anyway, back to the point of why we're here. You want to learn how to ride a bike? It's easy. Let's go over the controls. Very basic controls. They're pretty much the same way on every motorcycle. We'll start here on the left hand. The main control. This is your clutch control here. This is your gear shifter down here. Come around to this side. Here we have your front brake, and down here we have your rear brake. Those are your basic controls. Those are what you're going to find on pretty much every motorcycle out there. Now, my bike weighs about 700 pounds. I know that sounds heavy, and it is. 700 pounds is heavy. But once you stand it up off the kickstand, like just feeling the weight of it, it doesn't even feel heavy. So you got to get on a bike, you got to throw a leg over it, you got to feel it and see for yourself. It may not be a Fat Boy, it may be something smaller. If you're a beginner, you might want to try starting off on something smaller. That's the ideal thing to do. But for now, for today, we're just going to learn how to take off in first gear and how to do it without having to put any throttle to get your bike moving. How do you do that? Well, it's simple. It's a technique called clutch control. This thing here, remember the clutch? Clutch control will enable you to control your motorcycle no matter how slow or how fast you're going. So right now, what we want to do is show you that it's perfectly possible to get your bike moving. And when I say moving,
Hey, so right here, you're gonna notice that someone pulls up next to me on his bike. It's not just a regular bike, as you can see here. He does have a little motor on it, and he's basically describing to me that he can go at least 30 miles an hour on that thing. Uh, just looking at it, it looks. I would be pretty nervous going 30 miles an hour on that bike. But he was smart enough. He understood that it's just a regular mountain bike, and somebody modified it, and he saw it and bought it. Um, and he likes to travel on it and stuff like that. He was telling me that he would like to one day own a motorcycle, and I guess what better way to start than on a motorized bike, even though it's a mountain bike, but still, it still gives him the thrill and the fun of being on two wheels and being powered by an engine. Albeit it's a small engine, but it's still an engine. So anyway, I ended up talking with this kid. He's a young guy, so I'm sorry if you're watching this video, Josephine. His name is Josephine, if I remember correctly. Uh, He's younger, a lot younger than me, so I'm gonna call him a kid. I don't mean any offense to that if you're watching this video. We ended up talking here for man, I want to say at least over an hour. I was just going through some things with him about motorcycles and safety and all of that stuff, and stuff that maybe he wasn't thinking about, and hopefully I got him thinking about safety, because I mean, going 30 miles an hour on that bike with no helmet, and no other, I mean, at the very least a helmet. I mean, I hate to say anything else about what else he's wearing, because I'm sitting there literally in a t-shirt, but man, for him to be because he was saying that he drives on LaGrange Road there with all the traffic and stuff, so I was like, dude, you need to find like a different way, a different route, because especially like 3 o'clock, 3:30ish, when rush hours in full gear, in full effect, I should say. Cars are pretty dangerous, and so yeah, I couldn't believe how much time we actually stayed here and just talked bikes. And at one point, I did let him sit on my bike, and he'd never been on one, so I figured, well, throw a leg over it, man. Check it out. He stood it up. He saw that it weighed a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. But I was hoping for him to be able to experience getting a motorcycle. I offered as much advice as I could. I am in no way, shape, or form an expert in anything, but the little bit that I do know, I could pass it on. So, with that being said, I was grateful that he stopped and talked to me. I really don't get that at all. I could be out riding and stuff like that, and never experienced this. So this was a first for me. And Josephine, if you're watching this, man, it was really a pleasure meeting you. I'm glad I got that opportunity. Again, hopefully you're riding safe out there. You got to be safe out there, and maybe next summer I'll run into you again. But in the meantime, let's get back to the video and on to this lesson.
Up there. Anyway, I was talking to him for over an hour. Let's get back to this video so we can get home. How do we start it? Well, we hit our run button there. On my bike, you're going to see it go through the little check process. I'm going to hit the start button. Once it starts, let go of that button. Now, I'm going to let this warm up just a little bit. But to go over the things one more time, take my gloves off here so they don't get in the way. Clutch control. How do you take off without giving it throttle? I'm about to show you how. So on a motorcycle, when you grab your clutch, there is no power going to the rear wheel. The motorcycle is not moving. I can give it gas, not going to go anywhere. Okay? I'm going to put it in first gear. We're in first gear. Now, if you look, if I start to let this clutch out slowly, my bike starts to move. I pull it back in, it stops. I let it go slowly, my bike starts to move. Now, all clutches grab differently on different bikes. Whatever motorcycle you're on, whatever motorcycle you're going to get, this is the first thing you want to test out. Is let me see how far out I have to release the clutch in order to get my bike moving, and then pretty much the distance your fingers will be to get that bike rolling. So mine grabs about right there. As you can see, I'm starting to move. If I pull it in, it's not going to move anymore. Okay, enough of that. So, without giving it any gas, we're going to get the bike rolling. So right now, letting it out. My bike is moving. Keep letting it out slowly. Once it starts to move, pick my feet up. I no longer have to balance it with my feet. I let it all the way out and we're moving. No hand on the throttle, not giving it any gas. Now we're simply going to make a little U-turn here. Okay, we're going to start again. We straighten it out. Okay, same thing. Slowly release the clutch. Bike is rolling. Slowly, slowly. Pick up your feet. Let it go slowly, 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 slowly. Full release. We're gone. We're not doing any more than 10 miles an hour. I don't need to give it any gas. I don't need to do any of that stuff. So you can get your bike rolling without giving it any throttle. The only time you really have to do the throttle and clutch thing at the same time is when you're in the street, because you want to take off faster when you're doing that. You don't want to take off this slow. Obviously, if you're sitting in traffic and the cars behind you are waiting for you to go, you don't want to take off this slow. You want to be able to take off faster. So how do you do that? Well, you got to get the timing down, right? So if I'm sitting at a light and I want to go, what I will do, right there mine grabs. So I'm going to give it a little bit of gas, a little bit of throttle, and then I'm going to start to let it out. Slowly. Don't have to give it any more gas. You just have to give it enough to where when you start to let out your clutch, you're moving a little bit faster. So, we'll come, straighten it out, come to a stop. Again, if you're at a stoplight, stop sign, whatever the case may be, you want to start rolling faster, you do the same concept. You still let the clutch out slowly, but now you're just giving it a little bit of gas. At here, you can see my RPMs are about 900, something like that. If I gave it 15 right there, 16, that's a little too much. Right there, if I let the clutch out slowly, you hear that? The RPMs drop anyway, right? If I pull the clutch back in, RPMs are going to drop anyway. So I'm at 14, 15, right? Let it out slowly, slowly. Bike's going. Let it out slowly. Gone. Give it a little more gas. You're good. To stop, you squeeze your clutch, hit your brakes, come to a stop. Simple as that. I'm going to demonstrate it a couple more times as far as the slow way to do it. Again, let it out slowly. We're not giving any gas. We're just going to let it out nice and slow so we can get a hang of where that clutch grabs. Once it starts to roll, you can pick your feet up. You no longer have to balance the bike once it starts to roll. So 8 to 10 miles an hour, the bike is going to move on its own. It doesn't need you to balance it. It just needs you to direct it. That's it. One more time. Now when you're doing slow speeds, clutch control is the best thing you can have, right? So one more time, we're going to let this out slowly. We're going to let the bike go, no gas. So right here, my clutch is grabbing, my bike is starting to roll on its own. I'm going to let the clutch out a little more. We're rolling. Let it out all the way. 8 to 10 miles an hour. You might feel the bike jumping a little bit. That's okay. But that's all you need. That's all you need. And with that, that is going to conclude our lesson. I would suggest you keep practicing that until you can get full control over your clutch like that. Once you can get to the point where you let out your clutch without your hands on the throttle, you're good to go. And that shouldn't take you so long. It shouldn't take you days to master that. It should take you probably less than an hour. If you're in an open parking lot like this, it shouldn't take you too long to master that. So, with that being said, let's take one more walk around this bad boy. With that being said, good luck on your motorcycle. Practice every day if you can. If you can't practice every day and you live in a colder climate like I do, unfortunately we got to sit out through the winter. But in the summer, in the spring and in the summer, be out there on your bike as much as you can and practice and practice and practice and get it down packed. And you will. Trust me. Trust me, it won't take you long to get that technique down packed. Once you get that technique down packed, everything else is butter. If I can make another video demonstrating the gears and stuff like that, I will. I would have made one today, but I was just talking to that, I believe it's Josephine was his name. Nice kid. I wasted a lot of time talking to him. I don't want to say waste. I didn't waste time. I was going over a lot of things with him, talking to him. He was telling me that he does want to get a motorcycle eventually. So I was just giving him some pointers and some stuff that I know. So I don't want to say I wasted any time with him. I don't want to say that. It was good meeting him. If he does, if Joseph, if you're watching this video, brother, it was good meeting you, man. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully we'll run into each other again sometime. But until then, be safe out there. And we'll catch you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.